I've been sitting down and looking into some things that I've seen lately happening, like social things around our community and particularly our community of entrepreneurship. Sanbonani, my name is Tapelo Ngwenga and I am a seasoned entrepreneur, and I would like to welcome you to my channel. And there are some few things that I want to first talk about before I go into other topics. So for me, I feel like I should actually do some digging into these things, because sitting down and sometimes observing things, you later realize that some patterns, they tend to repeat all over and over again. For example, like in my business, I am the founder of RGB Vision Visual Studios. It's a media company, and I'm in the transition of changing the name right now. So you've realized some certain pattern behavior of clients, and when you try to address it, sometimes people will take you as defensive or excuse or in some way, but that's not part. But this video is actually to look into why is no one talking about these things that I'm going to highlight here, because like looking into the entrepreneurship space, I highly doubt that people are talking about this. And also the fact that we're coming from a background of whereby most businesses, especially in the townships, they were run by older people, so the knowledge was not transferred from the older people to the new generation. So where am I going with this? It's a build up. This is where I'm going with this. Because of that, we actually have now created a new structure, or should I say a new social structure, of how we view and see entrepreneurship, in terms of how we run businesses, in terms of how we scale businesses, in terms of how we find new clients, customers, depending on your field, in terms of how you do procedures as well and processes, the systems that you use in your business. We've changed everything. Like everything is now different. Where am I going with this? So sitting down, I've realized that we have actually stopped building. What do I mean by building? Here's what I mean about building. Building is whereby you start something and you do it in increments, or if you're able to or have the capacity, you just do everything at once, and then you later look at it and say, oh, this is what I have. I can actually take this and grow it to be from this level to this level, and later you move it from this level to that level. But someone will also say, why would I want to touch something that is working? They'll be like, nah. We don't want to do that. Why would you touch something that is working? I mean, in IT, there's a saying that if the code works, don't touch it. But why would you want to change something that is working? Number one, let's talk about the marketplace. Where is the marketplace? So in today's time, you've realized that many people are currently on social media. And because of that, we're no longer going to the streets, or should I say, some of the things, we don't get them on the streets anymore, but we just get them from just making a few clicks on our phones. And by that, it shows that we have migrated from the traditional marketplace to a new marketplace, meaning that now there are two different marketplaces where you can go to whenever you're looking for something. You mention it, whether it's a car, whether it's a phone, food, a loan, you mention it, anything. You can literally like find it online. It's up to you how you want to find it. The relevance of this is that there are some businesses that are still not using these platforms. You ask why? There's a research that is showing there is a gap in between the transition from the generation that are millennials to our generation. There's a big gap in between, and that gap is the type of people who are still struggling to use technology. And lucky enough, in today's time, if you look at entrepreneurs, it's actually young people from millennials to Gen Z. It's us who are out there, and of which it makes me very proud to see that there are many of us who are out there right now trying to start something, trying to do something, because we understand that it's high time that we start our own things. And it really amazes me that young people are in the space and they're really pushing. However, It is also worth noticing that the shift between markets is very important to consider, especially when you're planning for your marketing and branding on how you're going to get your customers. Very important because that defines how you will be able to make money and where you're going to get your people. So the marketplace, the shift of the marketplace is something that cannot be ignored because we're also now at a time whereby trust is such a very important element, and building building credibility is very important for your business. And how do you do that? You do that through your strategic marketing. You build that through your customer service as well, of which we'll cover it in another video. You also build it with your product, and I actually saw a video that spoke about building confidence. You don't have to always be the one who has the confidence, but your product or service can be the one that builds the confidence for you, so that you don't have to like be the one who has to worry that is this person going to buy? No. Was I confident enough? No. Do I have enough self-esteem to sell this product? No, you don't have to worry about that. And in today's time, it's even better because you can gather customer reviews from different ways, either through messages, either through Google, Facebook, Trustpilot. You mention it. There are various ways to gather customer reviews for this. So to sum up my point, people are now using WhatsApp or any social media channel to send a message as well to say, hi, do you know anyone who does this and this? That's where the marketplace is. There are groups. That's where the marketplace is. There are also Google pages. There are also Google pages that you can check whereby you list your business on Google and then people are able to find you. Because sometimes when you want something, you just go to Google and quickly search it and then the results populate. And if your business is not there, you're missing out. You're missing out, and your business is constantly going to be stuck where it is because you are not out there. People can't find you. It's like you're invincible. Like you can't be seen. That's the first thing that is a social change that we need to actually talk about more. My second point that I wanted to talk about is digital intelligence. How South Africa is adapting to digital intelligence. So digital intelligence has to do with how people use technology over time and their intelligence towards that technology, as in like you know what you're doing when you're clicking here and here. I'll put the actual definition on the screen. So digital intelligence now comes to the elephant in the room, the barrier of the transition between the millennials and Gen Alpha, whereby millennials are still struggling to use technology because we now see entrepreneurs and business owners still using books to record payments, and fast forward on that, they are either using Microsoft Word or Excel to create PowerPoint sheets. And it's 2026, people. Like, technology is so advanced that there are so many better solutions that can help you as a business person to break those boundaries. I mean, these solutions, they are either not secured, they are not safe at all. Number two is that they're not scalable. Number three, they're not convenient. Imagine a client asks for either a quotation on invoice and you're not able to do it because you are not at your place, you don't have your book with you, or you don't have those softwares that you have to use. There are many solutions right now that you can use to actually do your invoice generation, and then they track your invoices. You can check them if you were paid or you were not paid. The power is in your hands to decide what is and what is not. But however, most entrepreneurs are still struggling to do that. And like I see this most of the places that I go to, especially in around my area, which is Nelspruit, whereby people are still using two choirs. It's not convenient for you. It's not convenient for you. And the less we don't speak about this is the more we're going to have situations whereby businesses are still not growing. They are still stuck in the ice ages. I call it the ice ages because that's when technology wasn't much, or there was no technology, in fact. However, now technology is at our hands. It is at our disposal, but we're not using it. We have to use it. And to a point whereby some technology is free to use. Hence why this is a conversation starter, but it's a conversation starter that we need to actually look into, not an informative video as of yet. The third thing that I wanted to talk about is lack of structure. So this trend is showing that many business owners today, they actually don't have structures in their businesses. Structures is whereby you're the founder or CEO, of which is debatable. Why are you the CEO if you're a solopreneur? And then on these structures, you can either be a solopreneur, which is a single entrepreneur or business owner, or you can have staff to work with you. However, the social construct that is happening right now, we are seeing a surge of solo entrepreneurs, and that has actually resulted to a significant number of activities that are happening around us. And for this point that I'm going to make now has to do with hierarchy, that a one person business is not wrong at all. However, the approach in which the business uses is to run its operation is the one now that determines the success of the business. How does that happen? Number one, you are a solopreneur. You need to make sure that you have systems, you have processes and procedures in place. Why do you need that? You need that because they are going to guide you on how you run your business, how you run your day-to-day activities. And most people right now, they actually don't want to have those things. Hence why it actually comes back to feedback loops, that most businesses have flawed feedback loops, because they start the company, they create the service or product, they ship it to their clients, and then the clients reject it, and then they don't have a way of how to deal with that. Number two is customer complaint. Customer complaints, you have the complaint, you don't have a system of how to deal with complaints, which is where you need like things like return policies, where you need refund strategies. How do you do that? If you have spent X amount to develop something, how do you refund on that? Very important thing. Structures, customer service, very important to look into. However, I would advise that you consult with a professional to develop these things. Then the other thing that is along the structure that is lacking in businesses lately is that if you are the person who is in front of the business all the time, what happens when you're not there? Or far worse, what happens when you are no longer able to, or you're no longer with us? That's where businesses fail. That's where businesses fail. Sure. But I hope that you will make the right decision and look into the solution of how you deal with that. Because if we don't talk about these things, it means that we're building businesses for surviving, and it takes us back to the situation whereby our uncles, they built spaza shops, and those spaza shops, they died when they died. Do we really want to go there? I'll leave that question with you. And my last point is actually branding. So, as a person who is in that space, I find this topic very subjective and very emotional, because I've been to many experiences with different people, and different people, they react differently. So, the challenge that we're experiencing right now is that people are now comfortable to rather go to the internet, generate something, or download something and use it as their own. Why is this a problem? Here's the problem. As a creative, I can design something and post it on my portfolio. And then on the internet, it's going to show when you search something similar to what I'm talking about. And then you happen to come across it. And then you decide, oh, I like this. Let me download it and use it because I like it, right? That is mine. I designed it. It's not yours. That's where we have copyright law to protect us from such things, because it is stealing if you take someone's work and use it as your own, especially in the creative aspect. Then the last one, the AI generated ones. The AI generated ones, they're actually good and not good at the same time. They are good that you have something, but they're not good when now you want to build trust with your customers. They are not good when you now want to start doing the printing work, because sometimes you'd find out that whatever that it gave you, it has just too much complexity of colors, fonts, and whatever shapes that are there. They are just a headache to work on whenever you want to print. So it limits you from getting the results that you want. So, in conclusion, I'm coming back to my point right now to say that it is actually scary to see the current social changes, because you plan something today and tomorrow your plan is no longer relevant. This is because of how technology is moving faster, and because technology is moving faster, society is also changing and is trying to adapt at a very slow rate. Hence why we find some of these things that I'm talking about happening. And these are not the only challenges that we're actually seeing on the social change of the world right now. Wherever you go, unemployment is high, everyone is on social media, and people are spending excessive time on social media. There is crime everywhere, and people are really trying their best to survive lately. Hence why, before you want to blame people for whatever, you have to look at the symptom versus the cause, as the famous Vusi Tembewayo has put it. You look at the causes, you look at the symptoms, then you can make a conclusion as to why are things the way they are. You can do that. So in conclusion, I think that we really need to talk more about building more on our businesses, because we're not just building businesses for the sake of having a business, number one. Number two, for the sake of making money, of which is not the primary purpose of the business. However, in today's time, we've actually changed the construct to say that I want a business because I need a second stream of income. Some would say this is the only thing I have in life to actually support me. Without this, I won't be anywhere. This is my 2 minutes thoughts that I thought like I should actually have record and then share with you, because now there is the $1 million question that I would ask, is that where are we heading? Where are we heading with life? As we see right now, it's May 2026 and there is a war in between other countries. Cost of living is high. Technology is expanding rapidly. Where are we going? Let's meet on the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.